that I want to talk to about relationship issues, I would rather it be from the same set that's maybe in the same situation as I am. I mean, like, as far as being a married woman, you know what I'm saying, that's been married for years. Like, a lot of my friends, you know, and my coworkers, they've been with their spouses, you know, anywhere from 10 and 20 and 25 years. So they, you know, I know they can tell me some advice because they've been there a long time. You know, we trying to come up on a year, and these people been married, you know, 10, 15, 20 years and 25 years. So if I'm going to ask anybody for some advice in a relationship, not because I am trying to replace my spouse, I'm gonna ask another female coworker. You know, I'm gonna ask her because she's in that situation. I'm pretty sure in her marriage, if you've been married 20 years, I'm pretty sure at some point y'all had some communication things, and you may have to work through them for y'all to make it that far. You know,
there's a lot of things like that. But you made a valid point though, honey. The thing about that is what you were just saying about asking another female. Now, that type of thing, you know, my first thing came to mind was when you said a female that's been in the business of marriage for a while. Please, ladies, please don't ask your salty girlfriends that haven't had a man for 3 or 4 years. Please, how can she give you relationship advice?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't ask I wouldn't ask a single friend for no advice like that.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I said I was so happy with what you said. Couple that's been at it for a while, and she's asking the same sex. She's not asking another guy because, you know, guys, come on now. If a guy is interested in your lady or vice versa, a lady interested in your man, it's like they're going to give them the best advice. You know, really though. Oh, I leave the man. I leave her. I dump her ass or whatever. You know, come on. You know, so that was a valid point that she made. You know, she would ask the same sex. So that's a valid point.
Like
I like that. I like that.
And not single.
Yeah, I like that.
I like to ask somebody that's already, you know, like I said, been in the game, and you know, and they can give you some real solid information, because to be with somebody for 10 and 20 years, that's a long time.
Exactly.
You know, that's a very long time. So anyway, here's another thing that they had in this article that I want to read with you all. Like I said, this article came from CNN by a author of Patrick Irwin. He is a writer for CareerBuilder.com. He said that pluses and minuses of a work spouse relationship. So he said there is some pluses and some minuses to a work spouse relationship. So let's read what he has to say about that.
This should be interesting, guys.
He said that there are great benefits to having a close relationship with a coworker. Among the benefits of a work spouse, he's got some bullets here. And the first bullet is you have a friend who provides emotional support at work during challenging times.
Ding, ding, ding. Red light, red light.
During times of stress at home or at work, you have a built-in support system.
You sure do. You sure do.
Look, we just got done talking about that. Yeah.
You sure do.
And that was number one. So this is a plus to him. Okay. So, here's the second bullet. It says work spouses often complement each other in terms of skills, abilities, and their approaches to work. The two of you can make a very productive team. Good job, Mr. Carter.
Yeah, that's another good one. That's a good one. I can't argue with that one. That goes back to, you know, when your mate is not doing this type of things, guys. That's my main point. If your mate is doing this type of thing, you wouldn't seek it elsewhere. But if your female at work, your close friend or your work wife is doing all this stuff, complimenting you, knowing what you like to eat, there for you to talk about personal stuff. Come on, guys. Now, come on now. That's getting a little personal, you know. That's
He's got one more.
Wow.
In the benefits category. Okay, so one more bullet. Having a trustworthy co-conspirator for those occasional workplace escapades and juicy gossip can be beneficial and often acts as a way to release work-related stress. So basically, y'all gonna be over there gossiping, talking about everybody.
Yeah, just clowning around. Yeah, just clowning at work. Yeah.
So that one kind of goes back to that. What number was that you said they was nosy?
Oh, about the nosy coworker. I forgot which one that was. Okay. So that pretty much goes back to that one. But guys, I tell you,
that was number 4. When something eventful happens at work, this coworker is
that's the nosy
first person you seek out for debriefing. So that's basically the benefit he's saying, is to have a trustworthy co-conspirator for those occasional workplace escapades. Juicy gossip can be beneficial. That means if you got somebody with the inside scoop all the time that can tell you,
that can give you the hookup.
Yeah, give you what's the rundown on all the gyration that's been going on. That's your work spouse.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Wow, this topic here is it's just blowing my mind because this work spouse shit.
Okay, so
really.
So let me tell you this: that he got 3 bullets for the possible pitfalls of a work spouse mate. Okay, so right now we've heard the benefits, so let's hear what the pitfalls are. Bullet number 1: the relationship between you and your spouse might be misinterpreted by other coworkers. Others feel excluded. It may be a catalyst for personal or professional disagreement.
Yes, I can see that. I really can. I can see that.
So like it could cause problems within the department or whatever.
Because a lot of jobs don't play that. You know what I'm saying? They don't have people in the same department dating. And if it start looking like that, it can start causing a little, conflict, a little people being uncomfortable at work.
So number 2, the second bullet: if your relationship goes sour, it can have a negative impact on you, your ex, and your team as a whole.
Yes, I can see that as well because somebody is salty. Yeah, and revenge. The first thing they'll try to do is mess with your money.
My whole thing, I'm not going to even lie. We all told you that me and Mr. Carter, we met at our job back, 20 years ago at Golden Corral. So I know workplace relationships take effect, but, had been in a couple of them, before, I would not. And then when I say would not, even if, wasn't married, I would not want to date anybody that I work with. It is not finna happen.
I can agree with that.
Because I'm not going to ruin wherever my money's coming from, just in case if the relationship does go sour. Because you still got to deal with this person, and you really don't know how a person is until you have really pissed them off. Especially like if they want you to do things that you would not do. You know what I'm saying? Like say for instance, a girl that had formed a relationship or whatever, and then you decide that for some reason it's not something that you want to do anymore. And say if they're the type of person that feel like they got to talk to you or whatever, it starts turning stalkerish or fatal attraction.
Kind of freaky, yeah,
crazy.
Crazy and shit, yeah.
So then you might have a problem because this person might not be one that you can just not talk to. And then they may go to your supervisor telling lies or making up stories or whatever. It could get really sticky. That's what I'm saying. It could get really ugly when it comes down to those things. Okay. Yeah. And then the last bullet is, like I said, this is the possible pitfalls. If your real spouse becomes aware of their counterpart, it can create issues in your real life marriage.
Bingo. Perfect point number 1. That should have been the first bullet. That should have been the first pitfall bullet right there. Because when your mate finds out, good luck with that. That's all I can say. Good luck with that.
Exactly. Because like we said before, building these outside relationships and not having a solid relationship in your home, what does that matter if you got a good relationship with this chick or with this dude at the job when your real spouse is not happy at home and you're not happy at home, but you're supposed to be in a marriage? I mean, you would look more forward to going to work than you do going home.
Exactly. And believe it or not, I've been there. But it was not because of a workplace wife, but it was just because of a bad relationship at home. But I can understand that 100% because of what we were just saying. Now, if your relationship at home is not stable, that work wife or work husband, that type of stuff has a tendency to lead to something more serious, a lot more serious than what you guys are portraying it to be. I'm not saying every relationship out there goes there, but I could say honestly a majority, because when you're weak at home and you're strong outside your home, it could lead to a lot of things.
I agree with you 100%. Well, at the end of this article that I was reading, it says ways that you can manage a work-spouse relationship. So let's go over a couple of the ways that this author says that you can actually manage these work-spouse relationships. So here is what he suggests. He says, keep the lines of communication open. Make sure that other co-workers are not feeling shut out by the perception that you and your work spouse are an exclusive clique of two. If you are working on a project together that also involves the team, be sure to reach out to everyone for feedback and suggestions. So it is not like you all are just
isolated
clicked up
by yourself.
Yeah, you all clicked up and nobody is able to work with you all. Okay, so that would would break that boundary if that's something that's going on that could cause conflict on the job. Here's the other one. He says, avoid crossing boundaries. It's great to have a support system and a close confidant, but be sure to set boundaries for how much to share with your office mate.
That's a good one.
More importantly, honor those boundaries. If the relationship becomes, more than what it should, is too close for comfort, let your work spouse know you need a little space. So that, it's at the end of the day, it's up to you what is going too far. Because me as your coworker, I'd be like, well, how's your sex life?
No. Yeah, that's a little too far there. Yeah, let's take it a little too far.
That. So how are you going to handle that? You got to be like, hey, whoa. Now I might have done told you about my kids. I done told you about my grandkids, but now you taking that. That's a little bit too personal.
Yeah, that's a little too personal. Yeah, that's a little too personal.
So you got to know when to cut them off, All right, so the last one he says is lighten the mood. If your life at home and at work is filled with complications, bringing a coworker into the middle of those issues may not be beneficial for you. You should aim to keep the mood light and happy with your work spouse. You will look forward to enjoying gossip, taking breaks, and being able to relax with a friend without any concerns or complications. So basically, keep it on the friendly level.
There you go. Yep. Keep that personal shit to yourself between you and your family. Simple. Basically, that's it. Basically.
And like I said, this article was written by Mr. Patrick Irwin. He's a writer for CareerBuilder.com. And this actual article is 10 years old, almost 10 years old, because it was written November the 10th of 2008. So that lets you know how long and decades. Decades.
Bullshit been going on.
It's been going on for decades. Well, I think we covered up everything today.
Oh yeah, the workplace spouse. Oh my goodness, the workplace spouse.
All right, so if any of y'all want to get in on the conversation, please hit us up at lunchtalkshow@gmail.com. I'm sorry guys, my throat's getting a little scratchy. I apologize. And you also can hit us up on all our different social media platforms. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe and rate us on iTunes, YouTube, and Google Play. We appreciate you listening in today. You got anything else you'd like to say?
Thank you guys for listening to Lunch Talk with the Carters. We love you.
We love you and have a great weekend.
All right, peace.
Peace.